Today we're going to be taking a look at the team that is playing the best pro Valorant right now, in my opinion, and that is Fnatic. And I think if Fnatic continue to play at this level, then they will probably be the favorites to win the next LAN at Copenhagen, because they're just playing really, really well. And we're going to see it in this game versus Ascend on Ascent, where their utility usage and, the combination of their firepower with both Alfia and Durka, it's just absurd. And you're going to see some of the utility usage in particular is just almost perfect, if not perfect, in some rounds. So let's take a look, and we'll start here with round number 5. And actually, Fnatic are 4-0 down, but they're going to win this game 13-4. And it's going to start with Ascend coming towards B main here. And Ascend are actually going to Omen ult into B main so that they don't have to use the Sova Dart instead. So you see the Omen is clearing out this. The problem is, though, I don't think the Omen can see Durka here on the chamber. So that is a bit of a problem for them. But their idea to do this is so that they can get the Sova drone in from here instead and Sova drone the site rather than having to waste it clearing B main. So that's what they're going to do. And in they come. And this is going to be a weird round to start, to be honest. And it's going to show, again, the utility usage. So you see Durka shot there, actually gets back down to 2 HP. The drone comes in. Alfia sends this nade. It's so close to destroying this lockdown, but it doesn't quite do it. So we get the C's in from Enzo, who's towards CT. But now both Durka and Alfia are going to be detained by the Killjoy lockdown. They had nowhere to go. They couldn't destroy it. So they are just going to get detained. But what we're going to see from Fnatic here is just the utility. That even though they have 2 people who don't have a gun, who can't move on this site, they're going to still manage to win this round. And they're going to manage to win this round without the spike going down and with 3 people still alive. Which is insane to think about, okay? And it's going to be off the back of Enzo here, who sends out this Fade Haunt. You can just see it above Durka's head here, just there. And this Fade Haunt is going to get them 2 kills. It's absurdly good, because if I can pause this at the right time, you can see 1, and just the second player there also gets revealed, and so Enzo takes out Starkso straight away, and he's going to manage to kill Monster as well. So he causes a massive distraction. He also sent the C's in towards B main, which slowed them down as well. So he does a massive part here for his teammates, but he actually then gets spammed by CNED here. But now we end up in this situation. But now it's Boaster's turn to try and help out these players who are still detained, because he sends this Omen flash down here. And so you have Vac here, who's like ready to take out Alfia. He's put down this dart here. He's ready to take out this detained player. But then he gets completely flashed, and now Alfia isn't detained, and so they manage to just give themselves enough time to get these players back into fighting position, and so Alfia is getting pinged by the start this whole time. He manages to live, and Durka comes around and is going to manage to get the kill for him. We end up with CNED in a 1v4 here. He does manage to get Alfia, but again, more utility usage comes out, and they manage to get the kill with the KO nade as well. You're starting to see that just the utility from Fnatic there is absurdly good. I mean, the nade almost killed the lockdown as well, but from there on, even though 2 people got detained, this should not happen where you still have 3 people alive. The spike doesn't even go down. That's how good their utility was to help those 2 players out. But the thing with Fnatic is every bit of utility they use has a thought behind it of what they could get out from that utility usage. But even when they don't use utility, it sometimes has a thought behind it as well, and that is what we're going to see in this round, because normally what you'll get in pro games, the kind of meta right now on Ascent is to have your KO and your Omen here towards A. You put a one-way smoke down there, you send the KO knife in here, it kind of suppresses everyone around here, right? And it stops people, from going early towards A because they're suppressed, so you don't have any utility to sort of do that. And also it pushes them back behind this one-way, and now with no utility for, a bit of a time, you're not going to walk past this one way because you have no utility to try and get past it. Like, you just have to kind of give up this space pretty early to the defenders. That's what's happening in a lot of pro games right now. But what Fnatic are going to do in this round is a bit different, because they're not going to use the one-way smoke. They are going to suppress it to stop the Ascend from doing like a quick rush towards A, but they aren't going to send up the one-way smoke. And the reason is because they want to encourage Ascend to just walk forward, because Durka's going to tuck himself into wine here, get the first kill, and TP out. And it works perfectly, as you're about to see, because the knife will, just delay send just that tick of a second, but then they see that there isn't any a one-way smoke there, so they think, oh, we can just walk up. But then Durka gets the kill and TP's out before Vac can before Vac can do anything, and before Zeke can even realize what's going on. So they end up in this they end up in this 5v4 straight away. But again, we're going to see even more, right? The combination of their firepower of Durka here, who's about to hit an insane shot on CNED as well, but then also some of the extra utility usage we're going to get, the trading that they have, the understanding of what the other team is trying to do, because as we'll see, CNED is about to just jump peek this angle here, okay? But Durka's just going to manage to hit that shot, right? Which is just a Durka thing. Then as the Omen tries to retrieve the spike, we're going to get a KO nade in here to stop the Omen from being able to get in onto the spike. You see Starkso has to jump away because of the KO nade. He's going to try then to flash back. This is the Omen flash here, but it's just going to miss Mystic. So the flash just about misses, so Mystic goes pushing through the smoke, and he finds that kill as well. Then Zeke is going to try and trade off that, you know, and try and find a bit of a timing coming around, but Durka's well aware that that could be the case, so he comes around and finds another kill. We end up in this 5v1, and you're starting to see, like, I mean, it just looks like, what do you want to do in this situation? Monster's able to find Boaster there, but now that they know where he is, we're going to see even more good utility usage, right? That we get the Prowler coming out there to push him back. Althea then sends in a nade, he has to swing out, Althea gets the kill. Really well played by Fnatic on the whole, and again, just the utility usage is almost perfect, if not perfect. And now let's come to round number 11, which is a bit of a weird round, as we will see. We're in this situation, there's 117 left, and Ascend have made some progress towards mid here, as you can see. And so we're going to get a quick trade of bullets there between CNED and Althea here, as you can see there. And now let's focus on Enzo, because Starkso goes for a fake TP there, right? And so Enzo's a bit worried that he's actually TP'd, you know, close to him, and he could come and swing on him here. So he's going to send out a Prowler to make sure that that isn't the case. So there goes that Prowler, but it's actually going to find Zeke, who was sent off this chamber trap, as you can see, and actually gets hit. And then Enzo actually starts to spam him as well. But for Ascend now, we're just going to get a brief pause. They're actually going to go back towards A. They avoid this KO knife. They're going to drone up towards short. We're going to get a Killjoy lockdown in here. And you can see Durka also is starting to push B main, right? So you've got this Killjoy lockdown. This is a bit weird for the defenders, because obviously you know that there's been pressure here. And now you have this Killjoy lockdown on A. But the thing is, they probably know that this isn't like a fake Killjoy lockdown, because Durka has pushed all the way up here. He can see that no one is in B main. No one's even on B. So they probably know that this is going to be an A hit. But for these two players here, they're still in a bit of a situation, because you know that people are close, or very much could be close. So they are still in a bit of a weird spot. So they send in this Prowler to check, like, have these people gone back, and is it about to be an A hit, or are they still there? They see that the KO is still there. And so off the back of that, what they're going to do is Alfie is going to send in the nade. Durka is on his way back now, because he's been pushed back by a Sova dart. And so Zeke on 9 health has to run away from the nade, but he runs straight into Durka. They find the first kill. But whilst that has gone on, obviously the Killjoy lockdown has gone off, and Ascend have sort of taken some of the space that they got off the back of that. And actually, as you can see, Starkso is about to ult in towards A to see, you know, well, is there anyone still in there? And he sees that Boaster is still there on that site. So he sends in the flash on Boaster. They start to come in onto the site. Boaster TPs away. But Starkso does really, really well here to recognize that because of that Killjoy lockdown, you know, this space is probably more likely to be vacated, and it is. And so you're going to see that Starkso is going to be able to kill Mystic for free. Boaster does find one, but Starkso does come to heaven and gets that one kill. Then they know where Boaster is, so Vac gets that kill as well. We end up in a 3v3 retake, but the problem is you still have to deal with Durka and Althea as well, and that is going to be a massive problem really for any team at this point. And we're going to see some good use of utility by Enzo as well, because we send in the C's first. Vac, I think, actually thinks that this is the Haunt at first, but it's just the C's. But then we're also going to send in the Haunt. You can just see it there. And so whilst Enzo does die to CNED down here, this Haunt is going to reveal the location of these last 3 players. You can see it up here. You get 1, 2, and the 3rd player, all marked by this Haunt up here on top of the cannon. And so now you've given the information to Althea and Durka where these players are, and that's going to be a big problem. As we see CNED wrap around heaven, Durka's going to find that kill. They can obviously see where Vac is right here. They find that one. CNED tries to come down and gets one, but Althea trades it out, and they win the round. Again, really nice play from Fnatic overall. And, you know, once you deal with one boss, it's like, you know, here comes Althea, here's the second one, right? Like, his health just goes right back up to 100, and you're in trouble again. And now let's come to round number 13, which is Fnatic's attacking pistol round. And in this round, I don't know if they just knew exactly what Ascend were going to do, but in this round, pretty much every bit of utility that they use is perfect. It all works perfectly. And let's just take a look at it, right? So it's going to start off with this. They're going to do a little A split here, and you can see we have both the Sova and the Jet in here, and they're going to send the KO knife in here, which is going to suppress both the Jet and the Sova. And I think what Ascend wanted to do here is to have Vac kind of play as a bit of a bait, like, oh, look at me, I'm on short, and CNED comes tucked into this corner, right? Everyone focuses on Vac, CNED gets one, maybe he dashes out, you know, all of that good stuff there. But they get the suppress, but then Boaster sends in this flash, right? So Vac now can't play this little bait because he can't see. So he has to just actually run away, and that leaves CNED here, you know, in this corner, suppressed, and his teammate now isn't there to help support him either, so he's kind of just stuck. So he tries to just swing out and do the best he can, but Bosa is able to find that kill. Vac does get one, but now we're about to also get an insane little Fade Haunt in there, which is going to find both the Omen, who's now come over to help the Sova. So they know where both these players are now as well, and that Haunt, you know, seeing that the Omen has come across as well to short, kind of gives the player is towards A main, kind of the all clear. Durka manages to get one. You see they start running in towards A main, so Starkzo is worried about that, so he tries to flash that, but Durka swings around and he gets a kill. And now we see the other good side of Fnatic, which is just that, you know, Durka go kill does work, because he hits that shot. We end up in this situation of 4v1 for Monster, and you see what I mean. Like, every bit of utility that they used in this round pretty much hit exactly what they wanted to do, and they figured out where Ascend were perfectly, and just dominated this round. And again, I don't know if Ascend always run this on Ascent, and like this is you know, something that they knew was coming, but either way, it was really impressive for pretty much everything to go right in a pistol round. And yeah, this was just a really impressive round, and then eventually Monster here will die to Durka. We can probably run it forward a bit quicker. As eventually he will get one, but Durka on top of this box here is able to find that last kill there. And now let's come to round 15, and I think this round perhaps shows the level of preparation that Fnatic have right here in this round, particularly Mystic on this KO, because he's going to get early A main control, and I've talked about this before, but this area of the map has been really hard to come by for attackers. Because of this Omen one way, because of the KO knife isn't going to be there this time, but even if it was, it wouldn't really matter, because as you can see, Fnatic are pretty pushed back anyway. They're going to send this KO knife from pretty deep here. Mystic's going to loop it all the way here. It's going to actually land on top of the wall, so you can't even destroy it as the defenders. It's going to go off, and it will suppress you. But just watch like the level of prep that they have just to try and take A main, because it's absurd, right? Because you're gonna get Mystic here. There goes the KO knife. It suppresses the Omen, as you can see. He has a lineup for Wine here with this KO nade in the smoke, right? In the one-way smoke that he knows is coming. He has a lineup for it when he can't even see what he's looking at. This is the level of prep that they have. And what they're going to do is send this nade in towards Wine here. They're going to pop flash out. They're going to send a boombot as well. And it's going to get them early A main control. And this is something that a lot of teams have just struggled with mightily, is trying to take this area nice and early. But this is a great way of doing it. The reason they want the KO nade in here is obviously if they do just pop flash through and this boombot is here, that isn't going to stop anyone who's tucked in this corner, right? You're going to flash out and jump down, and then they're just going to swing on you whilst you're mid-air. They're not going to be flashed because they're behind this wall. So you do need to try and clear this out if you are the attackers, right? And so this KO nade, this KO lineup when you can't even see is pretty absurd, but it's a great way of trying to deal with this. And they're going to get early A main control, right? The boombot gets destroyed, but they flash out, they jump down, they get the early main control, they see that no one's in Wine. And this doesn't normally happen, right? This doesn't normally happen for defenders. They normally get to keep control of A main for a very long time. So what Fnatic do after they get that early control is they decide, well, let's go A. Ascend actually try and retake this. They put up the one-way back again, and now Mystic actually baits for Althea, because Althea, as you can see, has pushed beyond it. But, you know, Ascend don't know that that is the case. And so Mystic just like sits in this corner, kind of baits, jumps away, and you can see that Ascend aren't really aware, and Starkzo almost dies. And if this wasn't a bonus round, he would be dead, because he's lucky that Althea only has a Spectre there. So again, they get this early control here, they come in towards A main, and now they actually try and make a quick play towards A, but it's not going to quite go great for them. They kind of get stuck behind the one-way, a flash comes out, the Killjoy nanoswarm is very good, but they do manage to suppress the Killjoy and now get a Fade Haunt coming off as well that's come on the top of that box, the one we saw before, and so Althea goes in off the back of that, kills the Killjoy, does get traded by Stoxo, who gets very lucky that he lives there and is able to fade away into the smoke. They spam Zeke together and find that kill, and all of a sudden you're in a 4v3. This dart that's coming from the Sova on the site is very good, and it's going to reveal a couple of them, as we can see there. But the door is shut, so they can't quite spam Mystic there as it's shutting. Vag decides to drop down. Ascend try and go for a quick retake here, right? They try and catch them off guard by being here so early, and I think Fnatic were taken off guard by it a bit, because they are all there. And so you can see here, Mystic, is not aware that Vak would be there, but they come and actually Boaster swings with him as they see him, and they get that kill as well. It's just all really nice from Fnatic, right? They trade off each other. Stoxo does well to get that kill there, but these players now are on 4 and 15 health combined, so against Spectres, it's not going to go great for them. Enzo actually wraps around all the way up here and comes towards Heaven, and now they're just in this situation with a 3v1 on the site. Enzo wraps around the backside of Heaven, and they get that last kill as well. A really nice round from Fnatic, and you see that just the level of prep, even just to take a small area of the map like A main, they have everything sorted out. They know lineups when they can't see. It's absurdly good. And now finally, let's come to the round that ends it. Here is that KO lineup, right? That knife that's going towards A main, that's going to land on the top here. And we start with that same sort of setup, but actually you can see that the Killjoy just managed to beat the knife basically and gets in a pushed up position. But the awareness from Fnatic, watch Mystic here, because I'm pretty sure I'm not sure if he just heard the step from the Killjoy there as you were trying to avoid the knife, but they ping it, right? They seem to have a good idea. And you see Alfia's backing up as well as he throws this boombot. It's as if they just knew that this Killjoy was there. And so the Killjoy has to back off the boombot, obviously, because otherwise they'd probably be dead. Now Fnatic are actually going to make... I mean, this is going to be wild here, as you're about to see, because there is a little gap in this smoke that Boaster puts down right there, and CNED can see through it. This is going to be absurd, because Boaster's going to cross just as CNED stops looking. So Boaster goes across just there before he's looking, and then, but now you still think, like, Alfia's dead for sure. He sees Alfia, but he just, like, scopes out at the wrong time. But whilst that's going on, CNED will manage to find Durka as he's coming across here. But whilst that's going on, we've got this is absurd. They're gonna do basically kind of what they were doing before, right? You've got the KO knife landing right there now as it's come back, and now what you're gonna get is the fade ult, as you can see down here, that's gonna catch both these players. We're gonna get a raise nade that comes in here. We're gonna get a flash out of this one-way smoke again. Stoxo is gonna be caught completely blind, not knowing what to do. He's gonna die. And then you'll just see what I mean, because it's just absurd again. So in they go, they send in a Prowler, there's Stoxo completely blind trying to run away. You can see that Monster is suppressed, marked, decayed, he's running into a raise nade as well, but now they're wrapping in behind him on short as well, so they find him for free. He had literally nowhere to go. Again, it's absurd. 3 people got an assist on that kill, by the way, so that just kind of goes to show you, like, what was really going on there, and how well Fnatic are playing. Xena does actually manage to get Alfia before Boaster is able to swing. He's able to get away. He gets confused because Boaster TPs, and he thinks he's gone behind him, but he's actually just gone to site, and we end up in this 3v3. Now, again, they were 12-4 up at this point. They'd won 12 rounds in a row. So Mystic, I think, here was just feeling himself. He's going to try and make a play. Probably wasn't the correct choice, but, he doesn't manage to find it. But now it's just Enzo and Boaster, who, you would normally say, oh, they don't necessarily have the firepower, but they definitely do, because watch this. They get the kill there. Enzo's going to get the one in Heaven, and Boaster's going to find CNED as well, and they win this map 13-4, and I think it just goes to show you see some of these kills that they are getting. It's off the back of a ton of utility. Everything is thought out, and they are playing absurdly well right now, and they are dominating teams who really aren't that bad. Ascend are a pretty good team. Everyone thought Oglu was terrible when they 13-0'd them, but I think really, as Oglu showed, because they beat G2, it was more that just Fnatic are really, really good.